This is MM2K, and welcome to my game stream, you jerk. Yo, it's your boy MM2K. That intro was lame as hell. I need to change that. I forgot all about that. But nonetheless, it's your boy MM2K here with you once again. And for the first time, I'm with you on YouTube. What's up, my man? D-Train421 sent me a message. Look, brother, you got to get into the chat, man. I know you're rocking that Destiny. We got to talk, man. We got to talk behind the scenes. Some big things happening. You definitely want to get in on this now. I'm not going to do it in front of the cameras. Give me a buzz. I'll see you at work in the morning. Whatever. Nevertheless, this is your boy MM2K. I'm here with a new segment or a new show I would like to call Button Mashing and Babble with MM2K. So for those of you that have been following Scram Punks, or have been following my game streams, or have been following me through various other things, and first and foremost, without saying too much, because you guys got to support these guys. I mean, this is my brethren now, you know what I mean, and they really deserve the report. The support. I was on Broadband Bullies last night. I had a good time. I had a real good time, man. We talked about some gaming. We talked about some good stuff. And everybody brought their A game and brought up some valid points, man. I think we had a real thorough discussion. The thing about it is you're not going to hear it just pop it on YouTube. I urge for you guys to support the godfather of this whole stuff right here. Zaire 2005 Next Gen 720. Whatever you want to refer to him as, go to Broadband, go to his site, or go to his channel and support Broadband Bullies, man. It was an excellent show. All right. So now let's get to the matter at hand. And I don't know, I deeply apologize, my friends, if this is not streaming to YouTube. I tried to set it up that way. We got a couple live things going on here. Let me see. Am I actually live? My channel? Yeah, I'm live now. Good. That's what's up. I'm gonna mute this because this is my first time ever streaming to YouTube, and I deeply apologize, guys, because I'm gonna get right into this. This is my first time streaming to YouTube. So I want to make sure that everything is A-OK. I normally check it out on Mixer. Yeah, looks good. All right. So here's the deal, folks. There's three things that's been going on that's really been boggling my mind just over the weekend alone. All right. And for those of you that have been following me, I've been having some dental work done. They've been going all hacksaw in my mouth, hacksaw Jim Duggan. And it all started with this Dean Takahashi thing, and I'm going to talk about that later. But for those of you that are not aware, Dean Takahashi is the gentleman that was doing he was doing some play around with Cuphead, and while he was doing this play around, he couldn't jump onto another platform, and there was a big controversy behind that. And we're going to talk about that just briefly because I don't even want to deal with it anymore. The reason why I brought that up is I had made a comment like at the beginning of this, and it was starting to get some traction. It got a lot of likes and response and retweets and stuff like that. I was like, oh, okay. And it was really starting to annoy me. You know what I'm saying? Because that was the first time that I really had something that had a lot of traction on Twitter. But after all that traction, I'm coming out of the dentist, so I'm already hacked up. And it seemed like the Dean goons and the Venture Beat goons, they just was like full force, man. And they came at your boy as something fierce. And I'm already doped up, numbed up, and cut up, and I just wasn't having it. So I gave it to him. I gave it to him. I fought the good fight the best way I could. But I just want to elaborate on what that whole discussion was on. So I'm gonna get to that later. But the big topic at hand, and let me do some gameplay for those of you that are not aware. I am not playing Destiny 2. I am boycotting the game. Let's get into this, y'all. I'm boycotting the game for my own particular reasons and purposes. And I'm just rocking it out with the Division, man. I love this game. I've always loved it. It had some balancing issues, and at some point in time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a full review on the Division when I get the opportunity. I will talk about it and compare it, do all the comparisons and all that fun stuff. You know what I mean? But right now, oh, you guys can't see my gameplay because I ain't got nothing active. Okay, now you can see it. But right now, I'm just going to play it while I'm doing the babbling. And you might see me do a lot of babbling with the Division for the simple fact that I know this game like the back of my hand. I'm mighty damn good at it. Get it, mighty most, mighty damn good. I'm mighty damn good at this game. So, you know, I could sit here and lay down cement and play this game. So, first I want to talk about this PewdiePie thing. All right, because I mean, my boy, the Godfather of all this. Next Gen 720 touched on this, man. He really elaborated on this very well, man. I was in tune. I caught the tail end of it, but what I heard was real, you know, was real good, and I think he touched on a lot of good points. And what ended up happening towards the end of him making his point, you had a couple jokers that sit there and said something stupid, and what they said was, and I knew this was going to be the case. All right, but all right, let me back. I know I'm everywhere, but let me just say this. I don't get political. I'm a gamer, okay? I have my views. You got your views. So I tend to leave it at that. I do my thing with TRS on Scram Punks. You know, I'm humbled and I'm proud to be having the opportunity now to rock it with the Broadband Bullies. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, please donate to them. They deserve it. They're putting out a lot of good content. And I'm just a low life gamer, you know, trying to fight the good fight against the Pew pundits. But at the end of the day, I gotta speak on this because this goes beyond your political beliefs or whatever. And I get it. This is a contentious area in the political fight. There are people that support Trump, that don't support Trump, whatever the case, or whatever they support. You know, and things are real volatile. You know what I'm saying? And the country is divided, or people in politics are divided. I just saw something that Tim Dog posted earlier in the day. You know what I'm saying? Where he was talking about, where he showed where this lady just came out of nowhere and attacked this dude because he had a turban on. You know what I'm saying? And thought that he was Muslim. And due to her, you know, quote unquote, I'm just saying, I mean, ignorance is her lack of knowledge. Just because you have on a turban does not make you Muslim. And, you know, people are ignorant to a lot of things, you know. I wish people would take the approach that my wife has. There was some lady sitting in front of a church. Now, I'm a minority as well, but I got a different take on this. My father is African. He's from the Ivory Coast, and so a lot of their culture I'm down with, and I know a lot about Africa. You know, man, that's a whole different subject. Like I said, I don't get political here. This is for gaming. This is what I'm doing this for. But my wife asked me. She said, "Look, this lady's got a turban on, but they're coming out of a church. You know, are they Muslim?" You know, not like, oh, what are those Muslims doing? You know what I'm saying? And I had to break it down to her like, no, baby, the turban is not an identifier of your religious belief. It's a garment. It's just it's more of a customary thing for your country than it is a sign of your. Whoa, something going on here. Oh, they dropping bombs on your boy. That it is a sign of your political beliefs. I mean, or your religious beliefs. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's Christians that wear turbans. You know what I mean? So it has nothing to do with your religious beliefs. Like I said, it's a whole different story. So, you know, and that's why I said, if people did that more and stopped trying to armchair quarterback because they see somebody that's doing something different, it may not change your views. And I'm sorry, everybody's supposed to have their views. We're all human. But, you know, at least have some knowledge. Just have some knowledge, you know. Have some knowledge of what you're talking about, or just be honest and, you know, just say, hey, look, you know, I have ignorance towards that, and I really need to be educated on that. Stop armchair quarterback in situations that you don't know about. I've had people that tried to debate me about Africa, and, you know, what's going on in Africa and what's plaguing Africa, and I just laughed at them. You know what I mean? I'm like, you don't even know the half, and that's all right. You know what I'm saying? Africa is thousands and thousands of miles away. But like I said, I don't get political. I don't want to get political. I was just using that as an example. But here's the problem with what PewdiePie did. Whoa! And my problem is I ain't been playing this game damn long enough. The problem with what PewdiePie did is what he continues to do. What PewdiePie continues to do is dumb. And it's not dumb because I may agree or disagree with him. I'm not even getting to that whether I agree or disagree with him. But it's dumb for him and his brand. And it's not just dumb for him and his brand. It's dumb for everybody else. We all are affected by the idiocy that he's doing. Now, why is it idiotic? Because, and I'm talking it. I'm sorry for those of you that are not aware of what PewdiePie did. PewdiePie was streaming a game, and while he was streaming the game, I think it was PUBG, if my memory serves me right. Getting all ahead of myself. He was streaming PUBG, and while he was streaming PUBG, he said, "Why you gotta act like an N-word?" You know what I'm saying? He said, "Oh, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna keep going," and he kept going, and you know, that was that, and whatever. You know what I'm saying? And what the response was to that, of course, is what I thought it was going to be. You know, it was half outrage, and the other half was, well, you know, these black guys, they go on there and use the word all the time, and this is, you know, so what's the deal with PewdiePie? You hear it all the time, everywhere. Here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. I get it. People don't like to be told what they can't do. Look, I work at a Fortune 500 company. You want to know what company it is? It's none of your damn business. But I work at a Fortune 500 company. I've been dealing with all types of people from all walks of life for a very long time, for over 20 years. I'm an old dude. I've been gaming for over 30 years, excuse me. You know what I'm saying? I work in the financial sector. I do a lot of what I do is analytics. All right. I've had people say stuff to me that was just like, wow. But their opinions based upon me just looking at me was based off of the fact that all they did was watch Fox News and Cops. They've never been around someone that looked like me before. So they based themselves around an ignorance that they just didn't understand. And people don't like to proclaim that they're ignorant. They'll pick up a paper, they'll read somebody else's take on something, and now they're self-proclaimed experts. Look, we do it in the gaming community all the time. You know what I'm saying? So, when I heard those things, I was like, wow, you guys are really that ignorant? But, you know, let me educate you. I don't take it as an opportunity to get all upset, get all riled up, and get my mad black man points. I'm like, look, let me take this opportunity to educate you. Now, some people just don't want to be educated. They just want to offend. And you know what I do? I just offend back. You know, I've had people say stuff to me, and I did not get all upset or get rowdy. I said I heard some, I'm not going to get into everything because a lot of it was at work. And, you know, because of non-disclosure things and stuff like that, I cannot be talking about work all like that. That's why it's such a big secret, and I'm sorry that the game is not buffering right. It's chopping up. But like I said, I won't get into the specifics, but I don't get angry. I don't get mad. I just say something sharp right back to them, you know, and shut them the hell up and go about my business. You know what I'm saying? People just want to offend, and when you let them know that they got you offended, they already win. You lose. Now, with that being said, oh crap, yo, I'm trash at this right now. Come on, man. That's what I was doing wrong. So, but what the reason why what PewdiePie did was dumb is because, whoa, yeah, your boy's about, I'm going down. The reason why what PewdiePie did was dumb is because even though people may have that side of the argument where they're saying, look, you got black people to say that all the time. Why are they allowed to say it, and I'm not allowed to say it? That's an argument for you to take on Bill O'Reilly, Keith Olbermann, Rachel Maddow, Sean Hannity. At the end of the day, YouTube is offering an opportunity for people to do business. And whenever you do business, you got to have a calmer state of mind. Now, what do I mean by a calmer state of mind? Is that whatever your divisive political views are, you got to put that stuff on the back burner, leave it at home. And you got to come with a neutral state of mind and operate and do business. So if you think that it's not cool that black people use the N-word, or if I think it's not fair that women may call each other the C-word, or if people may not fear that people of the Jewish faith may call each other certain things or whatever, that don't got nothing to do with the tea in China. You leave that garbage at home. So as much as YouTube allows you to freely speak on certain things, now they clamping down on the cash for everybody. And you just gotta have that state of mind. Like, for instance, I'm not going to speak on that, but I'm just going to say I was talking to a good brother about being respectful, being mindful of this whole situation on YouTube not too long ago, and we had a real good chat, and it just really relates to this. You keep your political views where they at, and people may say, you know what, my political views are what make me. All right, fine. When you come to the commerce table with those political views, and you don't get paid for them, it is what it is. There's nothing to cry about. Now, if you're on a whole nother network and you want to do your thing, you want to do your protests and whatever the case may be, you want to speak your piece, that's fine. But when you come to this commerce table, you have to be neutral. You have to be what is considered respectful to all, regardless of what you think it is. So like I said, as a male, if a bunch of, it's just the way that it is. If a bunch of females want to call themselves the C word, that is uncharted territory for me. And so on and so on. And the same applies with the N-word. If a bunch of Caucasian males want to call themselves derogatory Caucasian terms, that's the same thing for me. And I know there were people out there that say, no, there were people that say things about, other people all the time, like Caucasians, and they get away. Look, let me tell you something, man. Let me break it down for you a little bit. Where I'm at, black person come out and say, you know what? You other race, whatever, white, whatever you are, white, black, Asian, green, you're gone. Because that's dangerous territory for them. That's called a reputational risk. So for those of you that want to believe otherwise, that may pick up these stories from Fox News or MSNBC, and they pick out the most extreme situations, and they want to make you believe that this happens all the time, every day, in every situation, you're only setting yourself up for disaster. Don't fall for the okie doke. So basically what I'm saying is, I'm not going to get into PewdiePie and why what he said is offensive. I'm speaking to the fact that what he's doing is stupid. It's beyond dumb. This man is supposed to build his brand. I got to check my inventory out for a second. This man is supposed to build his brand, right? He's the biggest thing out there. He's probably eating steaks and driving Maseratis off of this. And he's slowly but surely killing his money. So because he's killing his money, I guess he's in the mind state, I'm going to kill all of y'all's money. Because all this crackdown that YouTube is doing is based off of him. You can all do a 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon back to him. It all circles back to PewdiePie. My man's on the verge of a breakdown. On the real, for real, I think he needs a piss test. This dude he's off the hinges right now. For you to do that was so stupid, man. And it shows that you have an unstable mind. It ain't got nothing to do with whether you think you should be free to say that word or say, like I said, the C word for female. It don't matter. What matters is that you're at the commerce table. You're at this pinnacle where people do business, all right? And YouTube is a business. At the end of the day, it's a business. And when you're at that table doing business, you got to come neutral. All that political stuff has to stay. That's just the way that it is. You don't like it, then go somewhere else that ain't neutral, where it's just people of your beliefs system that operate and do things. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes I got to do that. You know what I mean? Because sometimes there's some things I can't be neutral on. But you got to understand, when you come to that neutral table, you know that's how it's going to operate. And my message to PewdiePie, stop messing up everybody's money, man. Come on, man. Just stop it. I'm not going to sit there and dog you. I'm not going to sit there and follow you to your crib. And don't ever say that again. I mean, that's corny. You know, people are going to talk stuff. And people are going to say stuff to the end of time. Okay? And like I said, I'm not one of those ones that's worried about it. You want to say something to me, I'm going to say something back to you. And trust me, it's going to be 1,000 times sharper. And you're going to be like, ooh. And just walk away from it. I've done it 1,000 times. I've had to survive where I'm at as long as I have, because I've heard it all. I've heard it all. But I'm talking to you as a businessman. As a fellow businessman, you got to kill that noise, man. Stop all the foolishness. Stop all the simple stuff. You know, you said the stuff about people of the Jewish faith. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter if you said something and a lot of people agree with you. This is not the place for it. You know, yo, what the heck is going on? Yo, they violating right now. They violating. Oh, and they killed me too. They violating, son. They violating. Anyway, I look trash. I know I do. I've never been killed these multiple times just trying to do this loot drop. But I guess that's what makes the conversation more fun. But anyway, like I said, PewdiePie, please stop it. Please stop it. Because we don't know what's, man. You can go on my website, and on my website is or the PNTS network. You can go on the PNTS network and see the news feeds that I got connected to the site. They're all PewdiePie. Come on, dude. What is you doing, man? They need to piss test this dude, man. I wouldn't let him back on YouTube, and not because I'm offended or whatever like that. Like I said, I've heard far worse. I'm not saying to people that were severely offended is getting over it. I'm not trying to get political like that. All I'm saying is that I'm just giving you my take on it. But as I'm giving you my take on it, what my focus is not on whether I agree with him saying that or his stance, or the people that agree with him and say, you know what I'm saying, that slur word is used all the time by African Americans. What's the big deal? They use it, it comes out their mouth left and right, and so other people should be able to use it and all that other stuff. And I'm just letting you know that when it comes to the commerce table, the place of business where you do business, that's not going to fly. Whether you think it should fly or not, it's never going to fly. You know what I'm saying? You go into your own social networks and you can operate like that. But when you come to the commerce table, you got to be neutral. It's as simple as that. End of story. I done dragged on that a lot longer than I wanted to. All right, so next thing I want to talk about is this Dean Takahashi cat. All right, so I'm going to try to stay on point this time. Dean Takahashi, for those of you that don't know, Dean Takahashi is a guy that works for VentureBeat or GameBeat or whatever. Like, I think it's VentureBeat. And he made the news because he was the infamous guy that was trying to play Cuphead. And he recorded this video and he sent it off, right? And I guess he would, I mean, after the smoke settled, I guess the guy was trying to do it to be tongue-in-cheek, you know, for some humor, because what he does is he's really supposed to be some tech guy, as his goons or have been telling me all over YouTube. He's not a reviewer. He's not a reviewer. He's just a tech guy that does reviews for comic relief or something, like some garbage they were trying to tell me. Here's the thing. He tried to play Cuphead, and the dude couldn't even jump and dash to the next level. You can look it up. Dean Takahashi. It's real well known or whatever. I heard about it. I just put my simple 2 cents in it, you know, because it's social media, and you know, I'm privileged to do that. I put my 2 cents in there, and I just basically said, look, Dean Takahashi. I said, look, if I want to review cars, how can I do so if I have problem with the steering wheel? How can I review food if all I eat is Cheetos? The question asks itself, and the question was, you know, do reviewers have to be good? So they just you know, they just stomped on their own excuse for what had happened, and when I say they, I mean the people that are defending Dean, the Dean goons, because he says he's putting himself in the mix of reviewers. Like, do people have to be good to review games? And here's my thing. At the PNTS network, you know, Scram Punks, we are all consumer advocates. Why we're doing this is because we have a problem with game people in the industry, right? Taking advantage of our brethren, the unaware gamer. I'm gonna have to use my survivor link. Golly, these mugs is giving it to me. Taking advantage of my brethren that may be unaware about something, you know, because there's a lot of gamers, they don't play, they're not like the nerds, they don't play games all the time. They may play some games. Whoa, man, they is giving it to me. I don't know where these cats is jumping to or jumping from. Golly, making myself look horrible. But at the end of the day, we got those unaware gamers. You know, like my man, I'm gonna call him DD. DD is 43 years old. He works with me. Man, he loves Fallout. We talk about Fallout, BioShock. You know, he's a dad of 3. He's married. You know what I'm saying? He's been gaming as long as I have. I'm an old school gamer too. And he's not going to sit there and drop $60 every 2 to 3 weeks on a game. He's going to look for 2 or 3 games that satisfy his needs, that he can play, he can rock out to, that he can play in the middle of the night with his wife and kids asleep. Same thing I do. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm running this so late. He's going to do that. And so he's not a nerd like me to where he's not listening to no podcast. I told him I was doing podcasts. He laughed at me. He was like, man, you damn nerd. But, you know, and I get it. The majority of the people don't listen to the podcast. They just want to play the game. Now, they may not listen to the podcast, but they do listen to reviews, because reviews go way back, you know, since the Nintendo Power days. So he might run across this Dean Takahashi, and he sees Dean Takahashi do a review. And the guy, you know, is articulate. So he's a hell of a writer, man. I was reading up on some of his material. He's a hell of a writer. He'll convince the hell out of you. The problem is, if you're a good writer, you can argue that the world is flat. He don't know about games. The dude couldn't jump and dash to a second level in the tutorial of Cuphead. He also did a review of Mass Effect 10 years ago, where he said the game was boring and difficult because he didn't realize that you had to use there were skill points in the game, and you had to use your skill points. And it's an RPG. How don't you know that? This is not somebody that you follow. Yo, the control response is not working on me. I'm getting slaughtered here, y'all. All right. So anyway, he's somebody that's doing reviews, even though if they're supposed to be tongue in cheek, his reviews don't come off as tongue in cheek. So you got somebody that's missing the fundamentals like that doing reviews. That's dangerous. And that's dangerous, and that's a shame to hardcore gamers, or not. And when I say hardcore gamers, I don't mean gamers. Hardcore doesn't mean that the people that are the nerds. It doesn't mean that. Hardcore means that you're looking for good gameplay. Like an example I always use is if you're into wrestling, there was when I was growing up, as I got a little bit older, when I was in my teens. There was always WWE, but back then it was WWF. There was always WWE, and then all of a sudden, ECW hit the scene. Now, ECW was hardcore. They was hitting people with spiked bats, throwing you on pins for real glass, all this other stuff. Sabu, Sandman, all these cats. They was busting each other open in the head. Now, ECW wasn't hardcore because they wrestled more than WWE or WWF, whatever you want to call it. It was the content that made them hardcore. So hardcore, you guys got to pick up your dictionaries. Hardcore means it's focused around content. And hardcore gamers want, unique and challenging content, hardcore content. That's a hardcore gamer. A fanatic / lush gamer is someone that plays a lot of games. I know a lot of gamers that just beat games on easy. That's all they want to do. Are they a hardcore gamer? No. Because if they put something on a normal level, they're gonna get smashed. So that's that. So we just got to get our terminologies together, people. We get our terminologies together, we gonna be all right. But at the end of the day, what everybody got to understand is that there are unaware gamers, hardcore or not. Yo, what's going on, man? Y'all mugs is really giving it to me. There's hardcore gamers out there, unaware or not, that don't understand the complexities of what's going on here with these reviewers and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they really don't know what they're talking about. They're being hired straight out of school because they can write. They may have played a little Mario here, a little Mario there. They really don't understand the fundamentals of gaming. And they're writing these reviews because they're articulate writers. They're all over the place now, man. They're all over the place now because games are so popular. So to meet up with that demand of the popularity of games, they've had to just hire more writers. They're not qualified. They're just a lot of young cats that know how to write. And then they're grooming themselves along the way, but they don't understand the fundamentals. And when you don't understand the fundamentals, man, you got a problem. I'm sorry. There's no other way to slice it. I have no business reviewing cars if I can't drive, if I can't parallel park. I don't care if it was 10 years ago. Now, here's the reason why I'm bringing all this up. Because the Dean Goons, all of a sudden, after I made my post about, the being able to drive and all that stuff, after I made my post, they went ham. They came for your boy. Coming left and right. I've had to mute like 6, 7, 8 of them. And I just want to say this. Because their excuse is, Dean is not a writer. He's a tech guy. This was tongue-in-cheek. Blah, 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 blah. All this garbage. Here's my thing. And I asked Dean this, and I'm waiting on a response, Dean. So hopefully this gets into circulation. I know everybody's asleep getting ready for work, but hopefully this goes into circulation. My question to you, Dean, or anybody, is, Dean, when you do your reviews, are they involved in Metacritic? Does Metacritic factor in your reviews, Dean? Have they ever factored in any of your reviews? If the answer is yes, then you can't use that slapstick comment. If your answer is no, then I'll say, I get it, fine. But please have a disclaimer. that I'm not really a reviewer. I'm just this is tongue in cheek or whatever. You need to have a disclaimer, because that unaware gamer, the person that's going to come across your thing and look at your review. Look, people don't review stuff. Reviewers don't review stuff unless they're reviewers. So I mean, it's like, it reminds me of that Dave Chappelle skit off Killing Them Softly, the stand-up comedy thing, where he was talking about females that dress clad, and he was like, I get it, you can wear whatever you want. He said, but you can't get upset at people when they approach you a certain way. If you wear something, the butt cheeks, cutting up your butt cheeks, you got the right to wear whatever you want, and people have the right to respond. And he gave an example, like, what if I was sitting there on the corner dressed in a cop's outfit, and you're in trouble, you run up to me on the corner, and you're like, oh, thank goodness, cop, they tried to rob me, such and such. They're at this corner, the guy that was 6 foot tall, had on a white t-shirt, and Dave Chappelle stopped you, like, whoa, hold on. Just because I'm wearing this cop outfit does not mean that I'm a cop. How dare you? The same theory applies. If you're sitting there reviewing games and you've been doing so for 25 years, whether you want to, consider yourself a reviewer or not, you can understand how people can get confused. And you need to elaborate on that, and you need to say, look, I'm just doing this for comedic purposes or whatever. But you don't even get that opportunity. What, the FTL was here? And I was getting slaughtered like that? Goodness gracious, they're garbage. But you don't even get the luxury of saying that. You know what I mean? If Metacritic uses your score. If Metacritic uses your score, homeboy, that excuse is out the window. Case closed. Ding goons. You got to wrap it up. So this is what I'm saying. I don't know this guy. Before this whole situation, I never heard of him, really. It's just that his gameplay was pathetic. It had to be called out. He does review games. That's an issue. And like I said, if his stuff is on Metacritic, homeboy, you've already lost. If it's not on Metacritic, okay, I got you, but you need to have some type of disclaimer, because I can't run on the football field and say, no, don't tackle me, I'm not really part of the team. But then I caused you to fumble and I passed the ball to somebody and they scored a touchdown. No, it don't work like that. If you're going to review games, you need to be accountable for what you do. If you review anything, the purpose of reviewing is to inform people. If you don't have the ability to inform people, you have no business of reviewing. And it shouldn't be considered a review. It should be considered, gaming. What was that? What Conan O'Brien does? There should be some comedy music, some Monty Python music or something like that with it, if you want to get away with that excuse. But like I said, if your stuff gets average in the Metacritic, homeboy, you forget about it. It's a wrap. You don't get that excuse. All right. So last but not least, because I got some errands I got to do before I go to bed, and my wife is going to kill me, and she might kill you too. This whole thing with Ryan McLaughry, man. I'm not feeling this dude. I'm not feeling him at all. I haven't for a long time. And for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, Ryan McLaughry is supposed to be the Xbox dude at IGN. IGN was they run it. They have a podcast series called Unlocked. That's supposed to be their Xbox centric show, and this is the most Xbox dude that I've ever seen in my life. Like I've never seen the pessimistic viewpoints that was spread on the show, on the Xbox show. And don't get me wrong, Xbox fans are passionate, man, and they will dig in some red men behind if they don't like something. So don't get it twisted. They don't just appease and just shout Xbox. They when Crackdown was delayed, oh my goodness, I thought we was going to eat our own young. With that being said, Ryan McLaughry is well over the top, and he's been arguing against that. I've seen him get into it with Crap Gamer, some other people, and he's trying to fight that narrative. But but homeboy, you just shot that, you just threw that all out the window with what you did the last few days ago. And what he did the last few days ago is, he was talking about Destin, I think it was, was going to do a review on Destiny, and for some reason he couldn't do it, or he was in the middle of getting it done, or whatever the case may be. Well, whatever. I'm trying to find these damn enemies. That's why I'm running around in circles here. So, Mike Ybarra, who's been on a campaign, and if you're an Xbox dude, you should be following Mike, and you should notice this. And if not, you ain't doing your damn job, because you're supposed to be the Xbox guy. But Mike Ybarra has been on a campaign, him and Aaron Greenberg, talking about how great Destiny is. Okay. And what they were basically trying to say is very clear. And these guys are paid. They're mainstream game reviewers. They should know this. Mike Ybarra is a cool dude. He's a real cool dude. And he's not inflammatory. He's very what we call banker babblish, like where he really like critiques his words and things like that. You know what I'm saying? So before he posts something, I mean, he's very active and he's very good at wordplay, but he's very active too, which is a cool thing. So he gets on there and he just basically he has a tongue-in-cheek tweet that's basically, oh, Destin can't do a good job. He loves, what's it called, too much. And my response would have been laugh out loud, Mike. We'll see. The Destiny review is coming out great. Because Mike Ybarra is a fan of Destiny too, as well. I can understand if this was some PlayStation game that he was talking about that wasn't on the Xbox. But he's sitting there hyping up this game too. Does Ryan McCaffrey do the normal thing that somebody that was considered an Xbox dude would do? No. He flies off the handle and he says something to the effect of, Mike Ybarra, you're wrong. I can't believe you said something like this. Destin is an honorable guy. He would never do anything like that. What are you talking about? Blah, 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 blah. He just goes on this tangent. He flips his lid. I'm sorry, excuse my language. I'm sitting there talking about PewdiePie, and I'm sitting there talking out the side of my mouth too. But he flips his lid. All right. For no reason. Whoa, these are enemies. Awesome, dumb AI. Anyway, then I guess somebody then must have been giving it to him, right? On Twitter, because he comes back later and he says, you know what, Ybarra, he tries to clean up. Instead of saying, you know what, Ybarra, after looking at this, I think I took this the wrong way. I'm having a bad day. Wife got up my ass. Whatever the case may be. Just own it, man. I don't get these mainstream dudes that don't own their stuff. I had a little Twitter thing with somebody else. I'm not going to name no names. With somebody else who said something stupid about Microsoft. I said, yo, look, man, sometimes you just go off the handle, man. They said Microsoft deserves everything that they get as far as bias is concerned because of 2013. Now, that's not what they said word for word. Somebody had said to this person, there's a lot of PlayStation bias and it's not fair. And this person is real sensitive to it because at the end of the day, they're a PlayStation dude and they don't want to admit it. They want to make it seem like that they just happen to like PlayStation because PlayStation is where it's at. Not that they're a PlayStation dude, because I hear things like this guy tells his co-host, why are you getting the Xbox One X? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense. You're getting the Xbox One X. You could get 4K from the PlayStation 4 Pro. And the Xbox One X is beyond 4K. It's super sampling. And if the man wants to spend his money, he can spend his money. Then ask you on why you bought multiple 4K FreeSync monitors and all that other silly stuff. He didn't ask you about that, so stay out of the man's pockets, whether he's your co-host, your buddy, or not. You know what I'm saying? And my deal is that this ain't the conversation that you're having off camera. You're having this conversation with somebody on the air, and like I said, the unaware gamers listening to this, and they're like, because you're not spreading all the facts. You're not talking about the super sampling and all that other stuff or the benefits to the multiplats. You're not getting into that. You may sprinkle it here and there, but then you just overdrown it when you say the silly stuff. So I responded back to the dude, and I said, look, man, you're going off the handle. And their response was, you don't listen to what I say, and if you're not going to listen to what I say, peace. And some garbage. Or whatever. And I responded back, I did listen to what you said. And unless you followed up with psych, my point was valid. That you're going off the handles. You're going to blame Microsoft for what they're doing. I mean, you're saying that they should be getting biased now because of what they did in 2013? When it's a completely different crew at the helm. They're offering stuff that Sony definitely ain't offering. But I'll never hear you talk about that. You don't even touch that. So, and Ryan McLaughry just fits into that same boat. These mainstream dudes, I don't know why they think they can say stuff and people aren't going to have an opinion or respond and check them up. This is the problem. You mainstream cats don't know your business. That's the thing now. And this is the social media age. You got to know what you're talking about, or you're going to get called out in a heartbeat. This ain't 1986 where you can say stuff and then, nobody could ever check you. It'll take years for them to check you. You can get checked instantaneously, so don't get on TV or don't get on the internet. Don't get nowhere talking stupid. Know your facts. Do your homework, man. It's not about being articulate or making things sound fancy, man. You got to know what you're talking about. Making the stuff sound fancy, being a good writer or being articulate is the icing on the cake. But where's the batter? Where's the cake at? The cake is the knowledge. So you can't go on TV and say, why are you getting an Xbox One X? You ain't got a 4K TV. When you're supposed to be an insider dude. You've been at Bungie, all these other places. You're an insider dude, and you know that the Xbox One X has super sampling. You know it. So that's the benefit right there. It's going to give you the best looking 1080p games. And if you're an insider dude, if you was doing your homework and you play games on all three systems on a regular basis for homework, at least to do your homework, then you would know that. If you're trying to get a 4K capable machine, the PS4 Pro is not doing it. I'm sorry. The only use to, and I have one. I begrudgingly got one, and I have one because I'm trying to do my homework, and I'm not even on your level. I'm trying to make sure I know what I'm talking about, so I wouldn't drop the $400 on a Pro. It's a hurt piece because it's not. It's not performing up to par, but I did what I needed to do because I'm trying to make sure I know my facts so I don't get clowned. So you industry dudes, man, y'all don't know y'all facts. Y'all think this is 1986 where y'all can just spew anything. Y'all don't want to be challenged. Y'all are so hurt over anything that is said to y'all, but y'all are not facing reality of what time it is. And Ryan McLaughry's another one. He gets challenged every day because the dude don't know the fundamentals, man. He don't know the fundamentals, and when he wanted to take it out on Mike Ybarra, but you're the Xbox dude. And that's simply what it boiled down to. And then his partner, I don't even know the dude's name, because I don't even listen to these cats all like that. I dropped them after I heard a couple of Unlocked podcasts. His partner, I guess he didn't get the memo after Ryan tried to clean up his mess. He gets on there and he says some garbage about how it made him feel bad as a person. He's been supporting Xbox for 4 years. Man, sit down, clown. So at the end of the day, folks, you know what I'm saying. You liked how I switched that up real quick. At the end of the day, folks, these dudes are some clowns. Ryan McLaughry at Unlocked. I don't even listen to them. Don't even click on their stuff. I done dropped IGN a long time ago. What IGN needs to do is they need to get serious, man. I know, I get it. Yoshida's sending checks there, or whatever, sending TVs, whatever the case may be. But if y'all want to be taken seriously, because these content creators is going to knock y'all out the box, and sooner or later they're going to get hep to it, and they're not going to fall for the clickbait. Y'all going to be lost in the sauce. As my man Martin said, dressed up as Jerome on one episode of Martin, you need to drop that chicken dinner and get you a winner. So that Ryan McCaffrey and company, they need to be dropped, man. And I know some people like them, but the whole crew is tainted. Y'all need to start fresh, because the fish rots at the head, meaning the whole body's done. The whole body needs to be gutted and just tossed. You can't gut it. Excuse me. You can't gut it and still fry the fish up. The whole thing needs to be tossed. The whole trout is stinking. So those are my thoughts, man. I tried to put it as elegantly as possible, and I know I've gone close to an hour. I thought this video was going to be 20 minutes. It's just the PewdiePie thing just got to me. Again, it didn't get to me because I'm offended. I've been dealing with offensive language all my life. You know, I've had people say crazy things to me all my life. You know, and I've learned that the best tactic is to, you know, sometimes fight fire with fire. You know, I hate to get Old Testament, but the best way I tell people is when somebody says something offensive to you, hey, look, man, I was a big dude. When I was young, I was a big sloppy dude. Man with sloppy Joe dude. So, you know, cats tried to get it. And then I had Coke bottle glasses. They tried to get on me. I could have sat there and cried and got offended. Oh, my God, man, this is horrible, man. What the, why? Or I could have just clowned them dudes. Just roasted them. And I decided to roast them. And then we became good friends. And I've taken that approach even when it comes to the quote-unquote offensive material, the offensive dialogue. So, you know, my thing with PewdiePie is not, you know, I'm offended so much as a minority, as an African-American male. PewdiePie don't know me from a can of paint, and if he wants to use that word ignorantly and foolishly, that's on him. He's going to have to deal with the backlash. My thing is, dude, just kill the silly stuff. It's not, you know, you talk about people of the Jewish faith, man, you're just saying anything, man. You need a drug test. My man DD, he's an Italian cat. He's an Italian dude. And like I said, stuff like that on film, me and him, we go back and forth, man. We say some of the most offensive things to each other, and we be cracking up, man. He's a good dude, you know. So like I said, people talk stuff all the time, and stuff like that don't offend me. But at the end of the day, I know his girls is listening to you, man. PewdiePie. I didn't even know who you was. He came to me one time, was like, man, I know you're a nerd in the games, man. Who's this PewdiePie cat? And I looked up a couple of videos, and I found out my son's listening to you too. I'm like, oh yeah, this PewdiePie dude, I guess he's alright. He's just goofy. He's just a weirdo, but you know. He's like, hey, you know how girls are, you know. So his girls are listening to you, man. And like I said, even though me and him go back and forth and we say stuff because we're doing it jokingly, you know what I mean? He got enough scruples that where he's gonna pull his girls from listening to you. Cause he don't want that to reflect on him. He don't want people to sit there and think that that's how he run his household. You're too toxic, man. You're too toxic to the business. It ain't about offensiveness. You just the business is gone, man. You're losing it. Somebody get this guy a piss test. All right, so that's my spiel right now. I appreciate everybody listening to me. You can check me out, you know, MM2K. You can check me out on Twitter, MM2K. You can check me out on Facebook, MM2000 on Facebook. You can check me out on Twitch, Mighty Most 2000. You can check me out on Mixer, MOS 2000. It's all in the banner. You know what I'm saying? And you can check me out with my brethren on the PNTS network at pntsnetwork.com. That's pencilneck30something network.com. PNTSnetwork.com. It's all in the links below. Follow us, check us out. We're in beta form. We're testing some stuff out. And last but not least, big ups to the Broadband Bullies. Please support them. Please go on their Patreon. They're putting out good material, top-notch material. Y'all need to hear this stuff. Like I said, the Godfather, Next Gen 720. Go on his channel to find out more. I appreciate it. This is MM2K, and you guys have a wonderful, wonderful gaming day.